Welcome to 360 Live. It's great to be here again, back in South Africa in my studio where I feel at home. I had a fantastic time over there in India and had some very interesting encounters, as you see on my social media platforms, with some lucky winners who got to meet me in a coffee shop. We had a fantastic Q&A and took some pictures. It's just always great traveling over there to India, especially around IPL time, right? It's fantastic to be there and just feel the excitement and the atmosphere of the IPL, which is the biggest, best, strongest tournament, cricket tournament that is in the world as we speak. Possibly even one of the biggest and strongest sports leagues tournaments in the world, which is quite fantastic. Thank you very much for joining me. Remember to subscribe to the channel, guys. Hit that bell notification. Also hit the like button to get the content out. The more the merrier, right? We're a family. We love talking about cricket, about life, and all sorts. And it's just great to be with a live session. There it is. Hit that subscribe button and also the bell notification. I see there's a couple of Man United supporters here. It's been a very lean and difficult season so far for Man United. Lots of ups and downs. But anyway, let's focus on the IPL. There's a big match today. CSK and Sunrisers Hyderabad. 3 and 7 on the log, playing against each other today. It's match number 18, and that will be 7:30 IST in Hyderabad. So it's a home game for Pat Cummins and his troops. I think they've had a relatively okay season so far. A couple of incredible performances, also a couple of not so incredible performances, but they are right. They're in the middle of the log. I think a win today would mean a lot for them. Obviously, CSK, we know what we can expect of them, a very professional unit. They're very clear with their roles. I think that's always stood out to me playing against MS Dhoni, obviously captain this year, Gaikwad. Just very clear. They always seem to understand what's required of them individually on the park. And then generally it's a lot easier to play together as a team, right? And in pressure situations, if you know what's required of you or expected of you, it just makes it so much easier to not feel insecure at the wicket or with the ball in hand, knowing that there's a team, there's a plan, you understand what you need to do, and all you do is just follow the plan to the best of your ability and try and execute, right? So that's what CSK has managed to do well over the years, and that's why they've got so many trophies in the cabinet, or at least that's what I believe. Why they've been so successful. SRH, a bit of a new look in that team. Fantastic batting lineup. Heinrich Klaasen in the form of his life. Abhishek Sharma, we've seen that what he's capable of in that high-scoring encounter where they broke the record of the highest ever score at the IPL. So it'll be a very interesting encounter. So, yeah, buckle up. I will certainly be buckling up over here in South Africa, in Pretoria, my hometown. I'll be on my couch. The popcorn will be out. I think it's going to be a great game. As we know, that Hyderabad wicket has been very flat, very good for batting. Expecting another high-scoring game. So have a look out for that. As we have a look at the log here, KKR against all the odds, right on top of the table. Can you believe it? 3 out of 3. And it's great to see them featuring again. It's been a while. They have been pretty inconsistent over the last 5 years. And it's fantastic to see them up there. We know Gautam Gambhir is back in the mix there. He's surely been inspirational in the change room for the guys. It's always nice to have a former great of the game in the mix there, sharing his experiences, calming the guys down when they get overexcited or nervous. It's just always nice to have those kind of players or personalities, at least, in the change room. No real surprises there. They have a fantastic unit. They understand their home ground really well. The twin spins, Ashwin and Yuzi Chahal, doing a fantastic job. Sanju Samson, I think, has been really good as captain this year. I have been in touch with him leading up to this IPL, and we just chatted about batting and some of these plans moving forward, the targets, things he wants to achieve. And I've always been a big admirer of his way of batting. I love his technique. I think he keeps it very simple. He's a very powerful player. And maybe one thing he needs to work on is better starts, a little bit more busy at the crease up front for the first 10, 20 balls. He's got that lazy, beautiful, he almost looks like a left-hander playing right-hander. Left-handers always look so stylish and elegant. Sanju has a way of doing that as a right-hand batter, but sometimes for the first 10 balls, you have to be a bit more nitty-gritty and a bit lower in your stance, and just make sure you get off the mark and get to 10 of 10 balls, get yourself in the game more often than not. So RR looking really good, off to 3 wins as well there, knocking on the door there with KKR. And then that CSK in 3rd place. We've just spoken about them playing SRH today. LSG also 2 out of 3. And as we go down the order, these guys are a little bit more in a spot to bother. 2 out of 4, not bad. I think for Gujarat and Punjab as well there in 5 and 6. Still in the mix, half wins, half losses. It's not bad. It's not great. It's a nice spot to be in, especially when you feel you can still play better. And I think for both of those teams, that is the case. A lot of standout players for them haven't really performed yet. I think of Gujarat with the Rashid Khan. We haven't seen those big 5-wicket hauls, fourthers coming in and just breaking the game open. I believe that's still to come. So pretty good spot for them there. And then a bit more of a spot of bother from 7 to 10. SRH there that desperately need a win against CSK today. RCB in a very desperate spot of bother there. 1 out of 4 with Delhi Capitals as well. And Mumbai, at least they have only played 3 games, so they still have time. Remember that season when they were 0 out of 5, and they ended up going all the way. So don't count them out yet. There's a lot of superstars and match winners in that unit. I know Mark Boucher personally very well. He will certainly not give up. And then move on to the game of the other night. A fantastic chase. Someone I haven't seen play very often in the past, Shashank Singh. A very special chase, getting 60 off 29 balls, if I remember correctly. The Heart Eaters made an IPL half century for the Punjab Kings as they chased down that 200-run target. It's the highest in the IPL 2024 so far, with 3 wickets in hand. Very interesting, right? It's the highest chase, but we've seen some very big posts. I do feel we will see more 200-plus scores being chased down in this IPL. But bear in mind, we're a few weeks away from that halfway mark where the wickets generally tend to get a bit more tired. It takes a bit more turn, and those big chases will become harder and harder. Maybe today we'll see a big chase again at 220 or somewhere along those lines chase, because we know the Hyderabad wicket is really good for batting, and anything is possible on there. Please post in the comments. I wanted to talk about the best ball of the tournament. I know we're talking a lot about batting, but I want to have as many comments as possible. So there you have it. Let me use this. Oh my goodness, that side. So send in your questions in the live chat box. I want to know what you guys think has been the best delivery of this tournament. I will have a look at all the comments here. I have something in mind, and I want to see if you guys are the same page as me. So let's see that. Very interesting. There it is, ball of the tournament. Let's move on to something else that's been very interesting. Maxwell and Siraj. I don't know if you guys have picked up, but there's a little bit of a misunderstanding with regards to roles, as Maxwell has more wickets than Mohammad Siraj, and Siraj has hit more sixes than Maxwell till now in this IPL. I find that very funny, and that's no disrespect to either of them. I think Maxi will also have a laugh at that when he reads this. So a bit of a tongue in the cheek. It's a crazy stat, absolutely. So thanks for that, RVCJ Media. Follow them if you guys want to see more of these funny stats and crazy things that happen in the IPL. And that's the IPL for you, right? It is a crazy tournament. It's the best, the strongest, the hardest tournament to be consistent, to win. Not easy, but then you get these crazy stats where these world-class players like a Maxwell end up getting more wickets than someone like Mohammad Siraj has been in incredible form over the last 2 seasons with a ball in hand, and vice versa. Maxi is the 6 hitting genius, but Siraj ends up hitting more sixes of them. I have no doubt that will change as we move on through the rest of the IPL, and let's keep an eye out on those 2 superstars for RCB. Hopefully both of them come to the party and start getting some wins under the belt. Desperate wins, very much needed. Samad Pai, let's move on to the questions. What do you think Maxwell can do to get back into form? It's always a very difficult thing, you know. It's so crucial to start the IPL off well, and even if you sort of just bring the strike rate down a touch, just make sure you give yourself opportunities to get in. I spoke about that just now with regards to Sanjay Samson, and that's always my advice to most batters. You know, just give yourself a chance. I know it's this big stage, big crowds. You want to entertain and you want to keep people happy. You want to make your teammates happy. And generally, there's a little devil on the shoulder telling you, like, it's time to go for big sixes. The people want to be entertained. But sometimes you just have to keep that ego aside for a little while. Just give yourself a chance, understand the conditions, find out if they swing, or is the wicket taking turn? Is it bouncing or is it keeping low? Stuff like that. It's crucially important. Where are the bigger boundaries on the ground? Where can I take the lowest possible risk for the highest possible reward? And sometimes that's just by knocking balls into space, getting twos, getting threes, lining a bowler up when the bowler settles into his area, lining him up in a certain area, possibly through extra cover for a left-arm spinner, for instance. We feel he's starting to miss his length fuller. You start lining that cover up where there's no risk almost there, and you just try and beat him. If you get two, great, good. If you get a 4, it's a bonus, great. So that way you can get to a 30 of 20 balls with not a lot of risk. And then, Maxi, if you're listening, then it's time to really unleash. Now, I know it's been difficult. RCB's performance has been up and down. So the challenges that Maxi's been confronted with this season has been very tricky. In early, in very late. It's been very difficult. So I know he's been trying to play the situation and what the scoreboard tells you to do. But yeah, I think even at the back end, just give yourself a chance, take a bit of time. And if you do come in at the back end, keep an eye on the television screen to get as much info as possible about what the captain and the bowling team are trying to do. How are they bogging the team down? And where are the possible opportunities to score boundaries at the lowest possible risk? All right, so that's a long rundown of that question. And I do believe Glenn Maxwell is a superstar. He will be back. He will be hopefully getting RCB back on track with his good friend Mohamed Siraj. Both of them are absolute superstars and good friends of mine. All right, next question then. If you are RCB captain, who will be your playing 11? I'll have to pull up the squad to have a look. I know, let me have a look on my phone. The last team was Kohli, du Plessis, Rajat Patidar, Glenn Maxwell, Cameron Green, Anuj Rawat, Lomror, Dinesh Karthik, Mayank Dagar, Reece Topley, Mohamed Siraj. And I think Yash Dal came in as the impact player. So nothing wrong with that squad. 4 overseas players, Faf du Plessis, Glenn Maxwell, Cameron Green, and Reece Topley. So the difficult part with RCB, and I think the most important thing is, the difficult part is they've been losing. 1 out of 4 is not a good start. It's not time to panic yet. I would say maybe because of the changes in that bowling department with Alzari Joseph starting, Reece Topley now, none of them have really stood up. You almost get a sense that they are panicking a little bit in the bowling department. Nothing new, right, for RCB. It still boggles me or blows my mind why they risk the fact of letting go of Yuzvendra Chahal. I think he was an absolute stalwart and solved so many problems. As an out-and-out match winner, you know what you expected of him. You could expect of him, and now I just can't believe they let him go. But anyway, nonetheless, that is an area of concern for me, the spin bowling department. And then chopping and changing the overseas fast bowlers. Alzari Joseph, now Topley. Now he hasn't done well either. Do they now go to Lockie Ferguson? That's unfortunately an area where they'll have to sort it out. Comes back to my comments earlier from CSK, right, where I said that they are so clear with their role definitions. It just seems like the individuals in the team understand exactly what they need to do on the park, and that frees you up as a player. If your plans are in place, the change room, the coaching staff, your captain, everyone knows what your role is, where I feel that's lacking in the RCB department, bowling department. So my squad, I don't think the squad has been the major problem. Obviously, Faf du Plessis up front as captain doesn't give Will Jacks really an opportunity to come in. Maxwell being a little bit out of form, you can't really drop him. He's too good. He's going to win you 3 matches in a row, perhaps. But then the bowling department, do you now go with Lockie Ferguson? Now they've used 3 different overseas bowlers. It makes it really difficult. I think the Indian players have been really solid this season. You see Dinesh Karthik finishing games really well. Yash Dal has been a refreshing addition to the squad, I believe. I think he's got a lot of skill. Akashdeep, pretty good. Lacking in the spin department. It comes back to that. You can't drop Maxi also because he gets wickets. He's a fantastic player. But where is that X-factor spinner? That is the problem. I don't feel they have that. Yes, they play most of the games at the Chinnaswamy, but when you're on the road as well, even at the Chinnaswamy, you still need a quality spinner who can break the game open for you. You need wickets there. Anyway, Team RCB, I believe they will be back. I still believe they will make the knockouts. It's 1 out of 4. It's not time to panic yet. So to all the RCBians out there, people from Bengaluru, the Royal Challengers Bengaluru, I believe, will be back. They don't have a lot of time to find the right answers. Maybe you just pull the trigger and have a go at and have a look at Lockie Ferguson. He's got that fantastic leg cutter, slow ball. He's got out and out pace. Very experienced campaigner. He's a New Zealander. He's a fighter. Maybe just pull the trigger, put him in. I don't know. Difficult to say. It's up to Andy Flower and Faf and Virat and the team to make those decisions. So yeah, that answers the question. I don't have 11 for you, but I've given you some ideas of what I think the challenges are ahead for RCB. Will Jacks make an impact in place of Maxi? Possibly. You look at they're very similar players in a way, except for Jacks bats up the order, and you also bowls off spin. You got a lot of wickets in the SA20. You won a lot of games for the Pretoria Capitals in the SA20 as well. So it's difficult to say. It's a different role because he bats is an opening batsman or maybe 3. So I don't think that's the area where RCB has been struggling. Maybe 4, 5, 6. We haven't been solid enough. DK finishing really well, but that's very late in the innings. So I don't know. I don't think it's time to panic in that department yet. It is a nice option to have. If you want, you can play an extra Indian seamer, let go of that fast bowling dream of either Ferguson, Alzari Joseph, or Reece Topley, and then you bring in Will Jacks. So then you have a very top-heavy overseas 4 overseas players department, and then you just really back your Indian seam bowlers to get the job done. And I think they have the ability to do that. So that is the one option that RCB will have. Don't lose faith, people. RCBians out there, there's more than enough talent in that team. I've given you the challenges, but do bear in mind every team has their challenges. Even the CSKs and the Gujarat Titans, the RRs and the KKR at the top of the log, they also have these headaches of selection. It's much easier when you're winning, but you still have those headaches of finding that perfect balance. How are you going to win the tournament? Because that's the ultimate goal, right? So yes, it's a lot nicer to learn when winning than when you're losing. Moving on to the next one then, guys. I'm going to cut it short after 13 minutes from now, 12:30 South African time. What is that in India? I think it's 4 o'clock, right? Exactly when the game starts today. No, it's not. The game's late. It starts 4 p.m. South African time. Anyway, I will be cutting it short in about 13 minutes. So keep posting your questions. I'll answer as many as possible. And I'll also be finishing off with a little video that I want to share with you guys what I've been up to away from cricket. You know, I don't just follow cricket. I do other things as well. All right, Patirana, Yorker to Stubbs and Marsh. Okay, that's a nice vote. I've asked you guys for the best delivery. Keep putting your questions down there. I'm going to share mine with you guys really soon. Let's do this question first, though. I think Mayank Yadav's ball to Cam Green. This is not a question, another vote. Mayank Yadav to Cam Green was probably the best thing I've seen this season, not ever this season. All right, I like the votes. Thank you very much. Both of them are not my one that I've picked, but we'll get to that in a minute. Your ability to shift gears was something else. Thank you very much. Depending on the situation, you can literally play at any pace, ranging from 100 strike rate to 300. How did you use to handle the pressure situation? So I spoke about role definitions and to be as clear as possible with what's expected of you. I've always really spent a lot of time in sort of just being quiet and understanding my role with RCB and with other teams that I represented over the years. And also in that present time, I would really follow the game and try and figure out exactly what is represented, what's presented to me tonight. What do I need to do? What's the run rate required? Where are the areas that I can exploit this bowling attack? Do I need to absorb the pressure first? Or are we 100 for 1 after 10 overs? And when I come in, I can really sort of take higher calculated risks instead of being very conservative. I think that's what was one of my strengths, really analyzing the game, trusting my instinct. And Obviously, preparation, shifting gears between 100 and a 300 strike rate, you need to be prepared to play both the games that's required at the time, a very attacking game or a very absorbing game, low risk, highest reward, where the 300 strike rate one, little bit higher risk, but not extreme risk. I would never enjoy it taking extreme risk. And I would really back my ability to read the game, understanding what the bowler is trying to do, which in turn lowers the risk again. So, but my mind would tell me I'm looking for a 300 strike rate. I want to get 15 plus runs of the over, but what's my lowest risk possible to get that done? What is he trying to bowl? What's the field set? I could get a lot of information with the field placings and also the wicket and analyzing what's in front of me. Is there reverse swing? Has he been bowling a lot of cutters? I would always look to attack the stock ball of the bowler. So I would know that a Bumrah, for instance, which is one of the hardest bowlers ever to face for me, he's got that Yorker, he's got the cutter, but what made him difficult is he wouldn't be scared to bowl a bounce as well. So he would make it quite tough. A lot of other bowlers only have two options where they would maybe go wide Yorker and a straight Yorker, or let's say three options, and a cutter, but not really testing you with that on length. And that would make it a lot easier. So I would set up to, let's say, Unadkat in Dubai playing against Rajasthan Royals. I knew that cutter was his go-to ball. So 3 out of 6 balls, I'm going to be seeing that. So I would get on off stump and I would wait for that. I would tell myself, if I see it, it's got to clear the ropes. And I would have my areas in place. If he bowls something different, I would definitely react to it and still try and, if he bowls a half volley, normal pace, I would still have a go at it. But I would rather have that surprise me than his biggest and best delivery surprise me, if you know what I mean. So that was always one of my secrets, to really attack the bowler's stock ball and not let him get away with something that he's comfortable with doing. If Bumrah was settling in with his Yorkers, I would really try and lap him, for instance, to get him off his best game. Now I know he's got to go to cutters or hard length or wide Yorkers. So yeah, I would analyze every single bowler like that. Spinners, for instance, a lot of them, when you look to attack them, they start bowling faster and fuller, and then really just trying to use their pace, sweep him over a square leg, have the lowest possible risk for his best ball, but still attacking that. So I hope it makes sense, but that's the way I played the game. I would look at the threats and what's this bowler's best go-to to try and bog me down or to get me out. And I would be set up for his best deliveries, because I would feel I have enough ability and talent and I've done enough preparation to put away stuff that he doesn't really want to bowl. Okay. So, and then at the same time, basics come to mind: being very still at the crease, having my eyes level with the ground, keeping my head still, and really just seeing the ball leave the bowler's hand. That would really free me up. So before the ball, I would have my mindset ready. I would wait for that stock ball. If it's a cutter, most bowlers, they get away with the ball. Let's say a very difficult cutter. There's another bowler, Mustafizur Rahman. That is his go-to ball, that cutter. If he gets away with that, you're going to be in trouble, because then he surprises you, the Yorker, out of nowhere. But look after his best ball and the rest will be a lot easier. So I would always just cover for that. All right. Thanks for that amazing question. You really had me thinking there. I hope I was clear. It's pretty basic, but it does take a bit of planning. And as I mentioned before, I'm going to refer to it again. CSK seem to play that kind of brand. The other teams are still catching up with them. They seem to be clear. Every single individual, I feel, look clear on the field. They've had discussions before the game. They understand the batters they're bowling to. They understand the bowlers they're facing. And the things that I just mentioned now, that's the kind of things you uncover or cover before the start of a game. Same with the bowlers. You need to be clear. What's this batter trying to do? If bowlers knew that I was doing that to them, I was looking after their stock balls and to possibly look to attack that to get them off their games, they would have a plan with it, So that's how you analyze, and that's how you give your individuals in the team the freedom to go out there and express themselves within the game plans. Alrighty, moving on to the next one, and it's 25 past 12 here. I've got 5 minutes left, so a couple more, and then I'm going to be sharing my best delivery so far in the IPL and also finish off with a video. So sit tight, we're almost there. You have 2 trigger movements. One is to stand still and deliver, and the other is to get on off stump, get low, bang the ball like in 2013. How did you decide which one to use in the death over. So talking about the death overs, I basically just covered it actually, because I was really covering the whole innings when I spoke about it now. This was all determined by reading the game and analyzing what the bowler's trying to do, looking at the field. And leading up to my death overs, I would really just take in as much information, look at the bowler and the captain when they talk to each other. I would literally try and read their body language when they change the fields. And you could pick up there if the guy is going to actually follow his plan or is he prepared to bluff you. So it's a bit of a chess game of cat and mouse. I knew a Bumrah was never scared to bluff me. He would set up a field and he would bowl something completely different. Course. It then comes down to execution. If you don't execute there, you're going to look pretty bad. But Bumrah is so good that he would bluff you knowing that he's going to execute to perfection. So he would get away with it. Most other bowlers would feel like, I feel I have to bluff AB here, but then not execute. Then you're going to fetch. All right. So that's the way I played the death overs. Facing a Bumrah, I was much more willing to give him what he wanted, but to still have enough skill to outplay him in the games. So you would, for instance, have the cover up, a long off, and a sweep on the offside. So for that, and maybe you'll have that long on cow and the sweeper out on the leg side, 45 up. So now he knows I'm thinking about the lap, but I would know he's too smart to give me that. He's not going to just give me a Yorker straight on the stumps. So I would then look and think maybe he's going to go a bit wider with a Yorker. That's one of his options. If I see that, I'm going to try and beat cover. No risk, basically, and I can still get 4. And I've given Bumrah what he wants, but I can still score runs in doing that. So low risk, high reward. But that's how I played it. When I felt the bowler was a little bit less experienced, his body language didn't look great, I realized that he's not going to bluff me. He's got his field set up, and I know he's too scared to try something different. So I would figure out his 2 or 3 options, and then I would improvise a little bit and really try and expose him. And the minute you expose him, they start panicking, the field changes, and then you know exactly what's coming next again. You know he's not going to bluff, and he's most probably going to miss his areas. So it's all a game of cat and mouse, analyzing the opposition, understanding and trying to figure out what's coming next. But most importantly, understanding what is his best ball, what's his stock ball. The minute you know that, you cover for that, you keep nice and still. Anything else you're not worried about, because it's not his best ball. It's not his go-to. It's not the one that creates pressure and bowl and make you or force you to face a lot of dot balls. So there you have it. If you're facing too many dot balls, make sure you cover that stock ball of the bowler, because that's where he feels comfortable. You will start making mistakes in other areas then. Alrighty, I'm going to share with you guys my best delivery of the IPL. It's not a lot of you have mentioned it, to be honest, but it's Ishant Sharma. There we go. Abhilash, you got it right. Ishant Sharma to Russell. I know it was a very high-scoring game, and the damage was done. Delhi Capitals basically got embarrassed on the night. A fantastic game by the KKR. But that delivery, I think it was over 19.3, something like that. It was one of the best balls I've seen. Under that kind of humiliation, you've got nowhere to go. You've been embarrassed on the park as a team tonight. And then for Ishan to still have the calmness and the composure at the wicket and executing to one of the scariest batters in the world to bowl to, you just got to applaud that. So, yes, well done to all of you that got it right. And thank you for all of you for participating in that. The IPL has been absolutely incredible. It's honestly, I'm enjoying it more than ever watching the games. I just think it's getting bigger and better, and it's just simply incredible. 10 teams fighting it out for 4 spots, and we have that fantastic system that we'll see at the back end of the tournament where 1 and 2 play each other. So there's incentive to finish top of the log or second. They go straight to the final, which I think is fantastic. 3 and 4, you have a lot of hard work to get to that final. You got to win a lot of games back to back to make it to the final. So it's just a great system, incentivizing the 1 and 2 top of the loggers. All right. I told you guys, let me remind you first, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, like this video as well, please. It gets the content out there, it creates a bit of awareness. The more people join in, the more fun we have together, the more accurate the polls are, right? So there we go. Subscribe. And then I'm going to finish off, guys, with something that's dear to my heart, something I have a lot of passion for. I've always wanted to show India what us South Africans are all about, what I'm about as a person. I've been working hard on getting some things over there in India that mean a lot to me. I have a big passion for a healthy lifestyle. I have a lot of passion for products like that'll hopefully find its way across the globe one day. Also, quite a few other ideas that you will learn about over the next few weeks, months, years. But there is one that has taken off. It is fruits, the 360 fruit, and it's finally arrived in India. I've partnered with really good friends of mine, the Ferreira family, who have been farmers in South Africa for many, many years. We had a chat. We actually love sport and golf. The father, Butiban Ferreira, was a fantastic rugby player in the past. So we have a lot of interest in sport. And we had a chat about getting fruit to India. And the biggest premium fruit, the best you can possibly find. And we collabed. It's called 360 Fruit. Their company is called Down South. I'll be sharing a video with you guys now, but if you want to find out more about it, it's downsouthsa.co.za. But here's the video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Keep an eye out for it over there in India. It's finally there. I'm very excited about this. It's citrus and all kinds of fruit that will be coming over to India. I hope you enjoy the video. Dive into the world of flavor. From our orchards in South Africa to your plate in India. Packed with vitamins, minerals and antioxidants, our South African fruits are the perfect choice for a healthy lifestyle. Boost your vitality with every bite. Visit the website downsouthsa.co.za for business inquiries. Yeah, so there you have it. It's a great passion of mine. It's something I'm very excited about. I've been to the farm many times. I've seen the boxes myself. We've decided to use apples for a bit of marketing because it looks like a cricket ball. To all the sensitive viewers out there, apologies for hitting the apples with a cricket bat. I didn't want to do it. But we'll make up for it and we'll send some extra boxes over there to India. I hope you enjoy it. It's honestly the top of the range fruit you could possibly find. It's good for you. I have an apple a day. Apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? We'll also be sending some oranges over there. You name it, lots of different citrus fruits. So the 360 fruit brand, keep an eye out for it. I think the boxing looks amazing. We decided to go with the blue and the gold. It just stands out. And as you can see, the apple's the top of the range. It's premium fruit. That's the only fruit we'll be sending over there to India because I believe my Indian family and the public of India only deserves the best from South Africans and from me. So Apple ABD. Guys, that brings me to the end of the 360 Live. I had a lot of fun with you. Please keep an eye out on my socials. Follow me over there for a lot of content. I have a team that work with me and it's all about engaging with you guys. It's from the bottom of my heart, things that I share with you guys. I want you to know me better. I also want to really hook up with you guys, meet people, give prizes away, and just keep this journey alive for how long ever, I have a lot of passion for everyone that follows me, and I appreciate every single one of you that supported me throughout my career. But it's not done yet, right? I think there's a lot of fun we could still have in the future. Thank you very much for joining me. Have a fantastic weekend, and enjoy the IPL. It is really an honor and a privilege to follow the games, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. Take care, and I'll see you soon.